Oh, I do like to eat crisps. Anywhere in the UK is fine. By the sea, by the land, by the nearest chippy. I like crisps, they're divine. There are multitudes of flavoured savoury snacks here on the market, and my 25 years interacting with them has led me to this. These are my presentations. Continuing episode 2, Crisp Reviews. Our second episode of Crisp Reviews continues our multi-pack of Walker's classic core flavoured crisps. An exploration into the most commonly found crisps here in the UK. This episode will be looking at salt and vinegar. We're looking at salt and vinegar. Now this is a flavour. Unlike previously when we had ready salted, this will have more than just one note going all the way through it. Now this flavour is a musical tune, which, unlike ready salted, will have multiple layers of notes going through its flavour profile. But why salt and vinegar? Britain, you may ask. Our fascination with salt and vinegar goes back for centuries. These two powerhouses of condiments are classics among the nation, and using them to flavour starchy things such as potato crisps and also chips is something of a national pastime. We'd do it for fun if we could. Now, salt and vinegar flavoured crisps is by no means a marvel or a leap of logic, but it was one of the two important steps that started to introduce other flavours pre-seasoned into the crisp packet. And here we have a prime example. Walker's, very common in the UK. These crisps are the Crisps Crisp, and it is through these that we will first discover the tang of the vinegar, peaked by the saltiness of the salt. Looking at the Walker's design again, we see that it is beautifully laid out. It has its classic bold colour, in this case green. Salt and vinegar is labelled on it. It also has in its background various nods to British culture. Let's take a look inside. Immediately you are hit by an aroma of the sea. There is salt, there is vinegar, and it brings back nostalgic memories for maybe a lot of Britons of a certain age, where they would have gone on family trips quite regularly to the seaside. Salt and vinegar is also used in the UK at their chip shops, which is a place where they normally, instead of chipping into very small crisps, chip batons of potatoes, which are then twice fried in order to create a wonderful meal. Often this is accompanied with something else which is quite synonymous with the sea, fish, hence fish and chips. There are crisp flavours which try and invoke more of a fish and chips flavour, whilst this just tries to invoke the pure two-condiment combination of salt and vinegar. That initial wave of flavour has died down, probably contained in the pre-packaged air, which did inflate the packet somewhat. Looking inside, we are greeted by that classic golden light colour that is synonymous with mass-produced British crisps. Incredibly thin, incredibly light. It is this that we have grown accustomed to as a British crisp. And now for the important part. We're going to be trying one of these crisps, and we'll be judging it on its own merit, and so far we have only judged one other crisp, and I'll make comment on the difference. Okay, again, initial crispiness of the crisp I would rate as high. Along with the appearance, we get a nice interaction with these crisps. After the initial crunch, the flavours that I taste first of all is actually the potato, with a little bit of saltiness, before towards the end of the experience we get a very mild soaking of vinegar. This is perhaps different to other things that you might have with real salt and real vinegar, such as our example of British chip shop chips. These batons, depending on where they are in your packet, cone or plate, will absorb different levels of vinegar. It is not uncommon, especially when you get to the end, to have chips which have almost absorbed vinegar, so it becomes the head flavour that you have. These are quite carefully crafted, so that you actually get an experience whilst eating the crisp. You get a final accompaniment, swell up, for all flavours to mix at the end. Overall, this is a big step up from the plain flavoured crisps we had before. Again, I tend to often repeat plain flavoured because ready salted is considered to be the unflavoured version in a lot of crisp ranges. The salt and vinegar flavour is definitely something that is nostalgic to us as Brits. It may also be something that is more familiar to a worldwide market as well. These have a nice sense of salt and vinegar, which is not offensive, and again, with the strengths of Walker's, very palatable to many people who have experienced salt and vinegar. Though crisp connoisseurs out there may lack the slight tingling sensation that is normally synonymous with salt and vinegar flavoured items, something that actually feels almost abrasive to the palate. It is something which is very mild in terms of that, but an overall pleasant experience. With these crisps, my overall rating for them will be a 6.5. I'm introducing a 0.5 system basis because looking at it, it's not quite there enough to wow us with a 7, which is a decidedly great flavour. But they are more than good and tasty crisps overall. I have been Michael
Crispin Clarke.
Thank you.